Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Drive Time. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back in the saddle. Once again, it is the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk for you each and every afternoon as you make your way around the great state of South Carolina and beyond, listening to us on incredible radio stations like Fox Sports Radio 1400 The Midlands, heard around the world on the iHeartRadio application. Download today. It is free. Again, welcome into the program, and thank you for being a part of our show. Text line, phone line open, 803-450-0086. 803-450-0086 on the How Much Time edition. Well, not much until the college football campaign gets going. If that's your question, that all takes place tomorrow. 11 games on the docket. We ran them down late in the program yesterday. We'll give them to you again later in the program today on the Friday edition. Clemson Tom also joins us, but it is Austin Peay at Western Kentucky at noon on the CBS Sports Network. Now, if you are someone local who is an over-the-air viewer of sports, there is not a game that I am aware that is going to be on an over-the-air signal. Everything appears to be on a cable network. I did find one. Never mind. Scratch that. Reverse it. Missy Elliott style. That Nebraska Northwestern game's on Fox. So there you go. That's 12:30. So if you need a college football fix, that's the only one not on cable. That's over the air. You can watch that with rabbit ears and a flat screen TV if you have it set up right. Nebraska and Northwestern. So that makes a big difference there. 803-450-0086, because I know some people are going to feel left out. But the question on how much time for me today is, how much time do you give a coach to build a program? You say, what, Swanny, is Swanny in trouble? What do you mean? Is he building this program? No, not Dabo Swanny. I'm thinking about coaches like Shane Beamer at South Carolina. How much time do the Gamecock fans give Shane Beamer? Because as we sit here today on the 26th of August, there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of optimism. And I'll be honest, I like the hire. But we've seen coaches in recent years land at different programs. Say Tom Herman, who many people thought was going to be a great hire at Texas. Herman went 13-1 in his first year with Houston, 9-3 in his second season. But I think that 2015 year and a victory in the Peach Bowl and a top 10 finish is what parlayed him quickly into the hot seat in Austin. And from there, they go 7-6 year one, win the Texas Bowl. They go 10-4 in 2018. They win the Sugar Bowl, finish in the top 10, and we're told that the Longhorns are back 8-5, 7-3, back-to-back Alamo Bowl victories out the door for Tom Herman. He got 4 years, essentially a recruiting cycle. I mean, that's about it. There might be some leftover guys that redshirted that still were there when they hired Steve Sarkisian, but 4 and done. Dan Mullen at Florida, 4 and done. 2 of those seasons, mind you, they won 10 or more games. They went 10-3 in his first year and won the Peach Bowl. They went 11-2 in 2019 and won the Orange Bowl. 2 top 10 finishes. Then in 2020, they win the East. They lose in the Cotton Bowl and finish 15th. And after last season going 5-6, he didn't even make it through the year. Didn't even make it through the year. Now, I know there are extenuating circumstances that surround any event and any coaching tenure. at any university. But what is that timeline for you as a fan that you say, you know what? This is how long I will give a guy. Now, when you look at Dabo Swanny for just a second, you think about when he was hired and how he was hired and how it was perceived. 2 years into his tenure, when he goes 6-7 and Clemson loses in that Meineke Car Care Bowl to South Florida, there was a percentage, and I would gather it is a large percentage of you, who said if the next year isn't a good season, he's got to go. And that was Sweeney's 4th year. And since that season, that was really his 3rd full season. But since that season, when they went 10-4 and got shellacked in the Orange Bowl by West Virginia, they have won 10 or more games every single year. And the bowl scene sounds a little something like this since that season. Orange, Chick-fil-A, Orange, Russell Athletic, Orange in the championship, Fiesta in the championship, Sugar, Cotton in the championship, Fiesta in the championship, Sugar, Cheez-It Bowl. It's been a lot of success. But if 2011 is a 7 or 8 win season, he's probably not your head coach today. So what's the time frame for you? We live in a microwave society where everybody wants what they needed. They wanted it yesterday. It has gotten so good for us now with Amazon that I have had items I ordered in the morning that are delivered in the afternoon. You know, the big deal with Amazon Prime was to get next day delivery. Well, I don't have that. I have same day delivery on a lot of items. I've got nearly next hour. Here it is. It's not quite that good, but close. So we live in this society where we expect the things we want. We expect the things that we have as well. We expect them to work. And for lack of a better term, get the JOBDONE, the job done. So for Gamecock fans, this question is a lot for you too. And you can text us 803-450-0086. And I know this too, Gamecocks. And if you're driving, don't text. Never text while you're driving. Not sure if you need to know that. Also, look both ways before you cross the street. But if you look back for South Carolina fans and you look at Will Muschamp, when he was hired, there was a pretty decent amount of excitement. I said here on the program, pump your brakes. The guy wasn't good at Florida. I don't know why he's going to be good at South Carolina a year later. I think his last year at Florida was 2014. His first year at Carolina was like 2016. I don't know why you think this guy's all of a sudden. This was a math problem. Okay? And I don't love math. But this was a math problem. If Spurrier wins at Florida equals Spurrier wins at South Carolina, then Muschamp failing at Florida equals Muschamp failing at South Carolina. It certainly doesn't equal Muschamp winning and being successful at South Carolina. Had Muschamp had success at Florida, then maybe I say, yeah, you know what? If he can win at Florida, he probably win at South Carolina too. Probably do a good job. Now, for Gamecock fans, this is also going to sting just a little bit, but the honesty is why we're here. The level of success that Steve Spurrier achieved at Florida, winning one national championship, probably should have won more, speaks to where that program was sitting in the pantheon of college football in that moment. Carolina's back-to-back 11-2 seasons probably were fitting of where they sat at that time. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by this. There are Clemson Tiger fans who would tell you today, they would sell you, Gamecock Nation, on this belief that you will never win a national championship. And you may not. You may not. But let's just go to an alternate world or an alternate universe where there's a coach that's at South Carolina that goes 11-2, 11-2, 11-2, then dips off a little bit, moves on, whatever, and then a guy like Spurrier comes in, right? So Spurrier elevated the program to a level where the next logical step was going to be a national championship to compete for the college football playoff, or at that time for the BCS. Like that was the next step. You took a step up. I might even argue 2 steps up under Steve Spurrier. But like the hokey pokey, Spurrier had your left foot in, shook it all about, and then Will Muschamp just pulled it right out. And you're back to where you've got to climb up that next rung. I think you've got the guy. How long do you give him? 803-450-0086. I think that's the question for not just Gamecock fans, but for Texas fans. Like, if you're a Texas fan, and for South Carolina, you gave Muschamp 4 and some change. I think you gave him plenty, given what you saw track record-wise during his tenure there. And I think that certain coaches earn the right to have some extra time too. You see, the one thing that I will say would be a flaw for me right now when we talk about Shane Beamer a couple of weeks out from his second season in Columbia is that the level that Carolina fans want to be is an attainable goal if you give this man enough time. But I'm afraid for Shane Beamer, his timeline is going to be similar to what Swanny's timeline was at Clemson. Meaning, as I noted earlier, had Swanny had a second consecutive poor year after that 6-7 season, all the rah-rah, all in, best is the standard, anything that Swanny says, any quotable that you, Gamecock Nation, hate, all of that is insignificant to the wins and the losses. And for Carolina and for Beamer and for that program, you are also in a situation that Jack Leggett, and I've said this before, that Jack Leggett was in. When Ray Tanner's hoisting trophies and Clemson's baseball's struggling, not having the success that they once did, there comes a situation where fans say, you know what? It's not the guy. Even though he's been there a long time, we got to make a change. And for Beamer, unfortunately, that time could come sooner than maybe you, the ardent supporter of Shane Beamer, or Steve Sarkisian, or whoever you're following as far as your team goes. The speed in which the support falls off could be the determining factor of whether you are trending up again or down. Because I feel like this as it pertains to Shane Beamer, if I'm a Gamecock. This is how I feel. Dude, we've got to win with this guy. We can't. Who are we going to get that's younger, more energetic, and sells the program better? You're not. You have the guy. But how long do you give him? 803-450-0086. Obviously, for Clemson and Dabo Swanny, it's worked out. There would have been there most certainly would have been Tiger fans, and I wonder if they're brave enough to admit this today. I wonder how many Clemson Tiger fans are brave enough to admit the fact that they would have indeed fired Dabo Swanny. Like the fans would have said, all right, he's got to go after that 2010 season. And you might recall that 2010 season had Clemson up on the road at Auburn, who would go on to win the national championship. I believe Clemson was up at the half 17-0, if my memory serves me correctly. They lost in overtime to Cam Newton and Auburn. Carolina that season also challenged the Auburn Tigers. But Clemson had them on the ropes in the third game of the season. I think it was Nick Fairley was the kid's name at Auburn. They kind of had a cheap shot on Kyle Parker. From that point forward, Kyle didn't look the same in that game. I think Jerron Brown had a big drop in the end zone, and there was a snap infraction on a made field goal for Clemson in overtime that ended up being a missed field goal the second time around. The Tigers would go on to lose the next two ball games, one against Miami and then at North Carolina, before falling at Boston College, losing at Florida State, losing against South Carolina handily, 29-7, and then getting beat by South Florida 31-26 in a game that wasn't that close. It took a miraculous run at the end for Clemson to get back in that ball game and make it competitive. How long do you give a guy like Beamer? 803-450-0086. That is a text line. That is a phone line. And you can be a part of this program anytime you want to be a part of it. Right here on Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands, around the world on the iHeartRadio app, and podcasted for you every day. Matter of fact, Nick hit me up last night on the text line. And actually, Nick called the show. And I got to speak to him off the air because I had an engagement to get to yesterday, you may recall. And Nick was telling me, Swanny, I was about to lose it with you, man, over the weekend because you say the podcast is up, and it was not up till Monday. Sorry, Nick, my bad. Sometimes the weekends get away from me. All right, with a quick break, we'll bounce back with more right here on a Friday edition of the show that shakes the Southland. What is up, everybody? So doing the stream online has been really good. And funny thing, the music, remember that kind of beboppy music I've been playing during the breaks? Like, it was my understanding that stuff would be all in the clear of copyright because it's built right into this system, but apparently it's not. So for today, at least at this point, I'm going to pump you over to a commercial break, and there won't be any sound unless you hear me talking. So we'll be right back. You know what I was just thinking? Probably not copyrighted at this point. Let's see. You know the songs I was talking about, Orange Fan and all that? I've got those right here. I'm pretty sure. Let me get this uploaded and then I'll check. All right, let's see if I got that. Oh, yeah, I got some of it. I hope this stuff ain't copyrighted anymore, but we'll see. Guess you can enjoy a snippet, right?
Football season comes once a year. Cheers to the ACC. My den turns into a football field. I laugh, I cry, I dream. Quarterback throws the ball downfield, but I told him he should run. We take the ball to the 1-yard line, then the referee shoots the gun. On Saturday afternoon, I like to do my thing. Watch football on my TV screen. When we're winning, I strut my stuff. When we're losing, I get tough. Well, I do what I can to keep my cool. When we do it wrong, I act like a fool. Come on, fella, I can hit that hard. I'm an armchair football superstar.
Oh, remember the Chad Kelly song?
Hit them hard, lay them down, do it for your town. Clicks in football, they be shutting it down. Chad Kelly QB, rapping for his team. You can hate him, you can love him, you ain't stopping the dream. Hit them hard, lay them down, do it for my town. Clicks in Tigers, they be shutting it down. Chad Kelly QB, rapping for his team. You can hate him, you can doubt him, you ain't stopping his dream.
Okay, so I know what we're going to do in the next segment. Oh, my goodness. I forgot about that. Man, did I forget about that. All right. Getting everything uploaded and we'll be ready to go. Give me one more second. Let's see what else we got. That is hilarious. Oh, there's what I needed. All right, let's see. Do I got one more that I can play before we come back? Oh, here's the second half of chat. Nah, I'm gonna let you enjoy that one. Here's Oh, this is when I used to do a show called Clemson Hotline. How about this one?
This is Coach Dabo Swanny of the Clemson Tigers, and you're listening to the Clemson Hotline on the John C. Calhoun Radio Network.
Wow. Haven't heard that in a long time. Clemson Tom, this is old.
This is Clemson Tom, and you're listening to Clemson Sports Talk. So sit down and have you a cold one and listen to a true American.
I like driving down Clemson Boulevard.
Wow. All right, get ready to come back. Sorry, I had to upload the segment. The first segment always takes the longest. I have more to do during this segment than any. After that, it's speed, baby, speed. Might as well just pull the video up, huh? You can enjoy me working. How about that? There he is. All right. Enjoy me doing this work. Nope. And Linda's in the house. What's up, Linda? All right. I think we got it there. I haven't heard some of these beds in forever. All right. Here we go. Let's get this party started. #82622 segment 2. Go. Rolling along on a Friday afternoon, the show that shakes the Southland. My buddy John in Archdale, North Carolina. You know what? You guys better put your stamp on where you're from in a hurry, because we got Nick in Georgia. We got John in North Carolina. We've got who else listed to the program in New Jersey? I can't even think of all the names. I need to go through the text line here, the phone line, and see. We got Matt in Virginia. We got Nick from Georgia. We got Larry in White Bear Lake, Minnesota. We got Bobby in New Jersey. Like, if you are in the state that has not been mentioned yet, you might want to put the stake on the name. Go ahead and do it. Text us. Say, hey, I'm Chuck from Wyoming. All right, Chuck, we got you. 803-450-0086. So during the break, for those of you who were not on the live stream on Facebook and YouTube, I was playing some music on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and it's some old throwback stuff. And I got to tell you, it's old Clemson things. And the Chad Kelly song. Do you guys remember that Chad Kelly song? All right, if not, I'm dare I say, I'm gonna play it. We got Linda in Hearts, Vegas, listening to the program. Home of my mother's alma mater, I believe, right? The Coker Cobras. I don't know what they do. I don't know if they do that. That's what I do. Here's the Chad Kelly song. Remember when Chad committed to Clemson? What a big deal it was. Here you go.
Hit 'em hard, lay 'em down, do it for your town. Clemson football, they be shutting it down. Chad Kelly QB, repping for his team. You can hate him, you can love him, you ain't stopping the dream. Hit 'em hard, lay 'em down, do it for my town. Clemson Tigers, they be shutting it down. Chad Kelly QB, repping for his team. You can hate him, you can doubt him, you ain't stopping his dream.
And the thing about that is, I remember it was just so obnoxious that there was probably a time where it felt good. I think this is the one where it's like, Chad, swag, Chad. I think this is the other half of that song. Listen to this. Listen to this.
CBs can't stop it, throwing passes like rockets. First play on the field, you know it's going down. 4,000 plus yards, 41 touchdowns. Number one cause we win it, All State cause I'm winning, County Cup cause I'm winning, Elite 11 cause I'm winning, Under Armour All-American, can't forget to mention. Did my thing at Joe's, now I'm gonna take my talents to Clemson. Watch how I touch down, Chad Kelly. Hit the field, it's going down, Chad Kelly. #1 QB.
Chad Kelly. Finished up at Ole Miss, Chad Kelly. So there's a couple of things I want to say on this front. One, that Chad Kelly, I don't even remember what year that was. He committed to Clemson. Let's see, Chad Kelly and Clemson. Before or since, I'm not sure that we've had a better music montage, so to speak, for a player that's arrived at Clemson. And maybe there are some out there that, so 2013 was his 1 year at Clemson. Maybe there are some out there that have done better than Jack Linda. Linda said, please stop. Yeah, it was rough. And Chad Kelly's tenure was rough. But I will say this, like if you talked about like players who have committed over the past almost decade now since Chad Kelly, maybe a decade actually. Yeah. We haven't had any that have had a song like that come through, not that I'm aware of. Text line, phone line, again, 803-450-0086. Linda has asked me to stop with the Chad Kelly, so I will. I will pump the brakes on Chad Swag Kelly. Text line, phone line, again. So, yeah, what happened was it was actually in the break, and I was saying that, you know, the platform we use, we play the music, and they hit me with a copyright violation the other day on something that shouldn't have been copyrighted. And I needed something to just fill the time, if you will, or fill the sound during the breaks when I was putting in some of the audio. Also digging here, I've been looking for this interview for years, man. This is, okay, that's not a very long interview. 26 seconds with Coach Ford. Not sure what that was, but I need to go through that. I think I'm going to go through that during the next break. All right, let's get back after it. So we were talking about coaches. We were talking about tenures. How long does it take? How long do you need before you say, okay, I'm done with this coach? Because I think the microwave mentality of 4 years is far too few. And I think that unless it just looks like after 5 years, the rails are completely off. Or no, the wheels are completely off. That things are completely off the rails. There we go. Then I think maybe after 5, but it has to be bad, in my opinion, after 5. If you want to give a guy a chance to establish himself. And the worst thing that can happen for a program, in my opinion, is to quickly reset it into a situation where you're on the hunt again and you truly haven't set yourself up for any semblance of success down the road. Why? I'm looking at the waveforms. Those Chad Kelly songs seem like they were really loud. Just looking at them, they look like they were terribly loud. On my end, they weren't. So if they were, I will apologize if they were awful. I'm not apologizing for the sound being off. I meant for how they sounded being awful. That's not on me. That's on Chad Swag. For the volume being awful, that's on me. I apologize for that. All right, 803-450-0086. If you're watching the live stream, we're going to find out during the break what that Danny Ford clip that's about 26 seconds is. And we'll come back with more of the show that shakes the Southland right here on Fox Sports Radio 1400 the Midlands. And, of course, heard around the world. Listen anywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Stay with us through the break. All right, I got to know, how did this sound? Sorry, Linda, you got to hear it one more time. Oh, no. Yeah, it was way too loud, wasn't it? Sorry. Dang. That is too bad. And now I can't hear it. So I might have to drop that audio a little bit. God, but that's awful sounding. Linda, how bad did it sound to you? I mean, not like the lyrics and the sound. How about the audio quality? Was it like beat up really bad? Because it looks like it might have. It was close. No, I know you can't hear it now. I'm not playing it. Oops. I'm just asking, like when it was playing, Was it over what they call overmodulated? Taking it down 4. It was loud. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully that will fix it. All right. Let's see what this other. What is this Danny Ford thing, real quick? Why I save this? Danny Ford. Where'd it go? Clemson. Dabo. Coach Ford.
Coach Ford, I wrote this song for you. I'm singing from my heart.
That's from the album.
There's something special in your.
All right, that's from the album. So file. Great wave. Wow. 8:26, 22, segment 3. All right. Okay. It was loud. All right, cool. Well, here we go. The show that shakes the Southland, Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan, hanging out with you on a Friday afternoon. Text line, phone line, be a part of the show anytime. The college football season kicks off tomorrow at noon. I know it's not a great slate. I know you're probably not going to lock in on everything. 12 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, Austin Peay, Western Kentucky. Then at 12:30, your first Power 5 matchup of the year from Dublin, Ireland is Nebraska takes on Northwestern. And kind of sticking with the topic, talk about Scott Frost, right? Out at Nebraska. Remember the job that he had done at UCF sold everybody on Scott Frost being the next Tom Osborne. He was going to elevate Nebraska to a whole new level. Get them back to where they once were in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s. He goes 13-0 at UCF. They pump their chest out. They win the Peach Bowl. They're undefeated, and they say, we're the national champions. And it's still in the stadium at UCF, last I checked. So here's a guy whose fan base has given him 4 seasons of mediocre to terrible college football. 4-8, 5-7, 3-5, 3-9. And he's back for year 5. And my hunch on this, and I don't think I'm wrong, my hunch on this is that if they start the season poorly, 3-3, he's gone. 5 and some change. They play Northwestern again tomorrow in Ireland. They play North Dakota September 3rd, Georgia Southern, Oklahoma on September 17th, Indiana, and Rutgers. Through the first 6 games, Nebraska should be better than 5 out of their 6 opponents. Should be. At Purdue, Illinois, Minnesota, at Michigan, Wisconsin, and at Iowa. That 3-game slate, November 12th, 19th, and 25th, could tell the story of whether or not Scott Frost is around for a bowl game. But this is a fan base that said, look, forget how bad it stinks in here. We're going to stick it out. We're going to give him a chance. But I can't imagine a situation where this isn't the last opportunity. And I would pose the question to Nebraska fans today. And maybe this is a carryover that should take place to schools like, maybe this is something that should carry over to schools like Southern Cal and UCLA, is it wise to venture into the Big Ten from the standpoint of increasing your self-worth, so to speak? Like, Nebraska has done nothing but be mediocre in that league, where they were a monster in the Big 12. I don't know anybody that would fear Nebraska in 2022. But when they were in the Big 12, they were, when they had that rivalry with Oklahoma and that matchup with Texas. I mean, when they were in the Big 12, they were something. And there have been times that UCLA, and well, not as much, but USC have been something in the world of college football. And what if this move to the Big Ten is merely you becoming what Nebraska's become in the Big Ten? Which I'm going to say it. They're insignificant on the college football front. Insignificant. As a matter of fact, on my list I gave you yesterday of which all-time great teams would make a run at a national title first, Miami, Florida State, Notre Dame, Southern Cal, Oklahoma. I mentioned Nebraska. I mentioned Florida. Nebraska's last on that list for me. And when I was in college and when I was growing up, Nebraska was one of the most feared, intimidating machines. I'm not even going to call them a program. They were a machine in this sport. They're not a blip on my weekly radar. Insignificant. Huskers, I know it hurts. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. I didn't put you in this situation. I don't know how to correct it. But I know this. During Scott Frost's tenure, nothing. Esley says Frost on the hot seat will melt. It's a good point. That's a good point, Esley. Patrick Lowry says Tommy Frazier was legit. Oh, and Tommy Frazier almost committed to Clemson and probably would have committed to Clemson, except Patrick Sapp had already committed to Clemson. And Sapp, of course, started his career as a quarterback before transitioning to the defensive side of the ball and playing in the NFL on the defensive side of the ball. Patrick Sapp reigns high school down in Florida. Teammates and friends with, of course, Bryant Dawkins. And so, I don't know if that was some of the lean in there or what, but nonetheless, Tommy Frazier goes to Nebraska. And that championship game where they beat the brakes off of Florida like 62-24 or something, whatever that was. I mean, that was a ridiculous beatdown. And most people, most experts, has-been spurt, drip under pressure, thought that game was the Gators to take. With a break, we'll put a bow on hour number one. We'll come back with Clemson Tom in hour two. Stay with us. One more segment here on the show that shakes the Southland in hour one. All right. What we doing? Getting a little song playing here. What do we got? I'm from Clemson. What is this? I can't hear that. Can y'all hear that? I can't hear that. Oh, sorry. I got muted. No wonder. Here we go. There we go. Hey.
I want to tell everybody I'm from Clemson, and I'm proud.
Music is amazing.
There's no
Music
mistake,
is amazing.
no doubt about it. Excuse me if I sing a little loud.
It just, like your brain, you think your brain can't hold on to anything, but a song comes on that you haven't heard in ages. And the beat, the rhythm, man, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. All right, let me put you guys in a quick break here. And I'm going to get things uploaded, and we'll come back and wrap up hour one.
On Saturday morning, I don't sleep late. I eat an early breakfast and I head out for the gate. I gotta get there early to watch the Tigers play. The dogs are in town, we'll blow them away. I've got my orange t-shirt, got my orange hat, even orange underwear. Now what you think of that? I'm an orange fan in Tigerland. When the time runs off the clock, the football game is done. My orange blood's pumping fast, the Tiger team has won. I head for the parking lot, jump in my orange car, drive to home on Orange Street, walk through my orange yard. Waiting at the door for me to see just how we did is my orange dog, orange wife, and orange kids. I'm an orange fan in Tigerland.
I can't believe I don't have those whole album, those whole like the full length version of those songs on here. I got the record behind me. I know I have them somewhere. I'm gonna keep digging. When I got the new computer, I shifted things over, so maybe I'll figure it out. How much longer do I have? Okay, I got plenty of time. All right. Remember this one?
ACC, we run it out, but it ain't enough, we won it out. Better watch out for the D-line, if y'all boys wanna run the ball, and if y'all boys wanna pass it too, I suggest you hold up, you must ain't seen that secondary. Yeah, boy, we so tough, can't you tell that we ballin', and these boys can't hold us back. 81 championship, and best believe we going back. Clemson, we all in, one team with one dream.
We're on the quest for the best, and we can't let anything hold us back.
These boys can't hold us back. These boys can't hold us back.
Like after they said, I remember we were playing that on this show, and it was just kind of like I wouldn't say a pipe dream, but it was just kind of like, yeah, really, Clemson gonna make a run and win some titles, sure. Yeah, people funny, ha, look at that. Who's laughing now? Yoda, Martin Jenkins, right? That I think Martin Jenkins did that song. Here's part 2 of that.
We turned up, we run down the hill, we so turned up. Run the rock, hit the field, no competition, we first up. Offense is too fast, defense ain't scared, boy. Line up against me, we drop you on your head, boy. Death Valley be jumping, whole stadium pumping. Best fans in the whole nation, and damn right we love them. CLEMSON, we Clemson, we ballin', we all in. These boys can't hold us back.
There it is. These boys can't hold us back. We too deep. I haven't heard any of that in a long time. All right, final segment of hour 1. 4. Final segment of hour number 1. I mentioned John in North Carolina, Archdale, North Carolina. I don't think I said why I mentioned him. Then I got into where you guys are all from. But John said that intro is too flashy. And I'm not a flashy guy. I said, John, I am a flashy guy. Oh, man. Hard on that auto-tune. Yeah, it was. You know what, Patrick? I don't think that auto-tune was like a thing that I don't think that was in the lexicon when that came out. Was it? That would be interesting to know. All right, so Lee Westwood, former PGA Tour golfer, one of the first to defect to the Live Golf Tour, was not excited or, kind of poking at the PGA Tour because they did exactly what I said they would do. They would make some adjustments to their formats to try to compete with Live Golf. And it's amazing the names that are playing in this new golf tour. I mean, it's beyond bizarre. And again, I know the name and lights is Clemson Sports Talk, and you guys probably expect your boy to be talking about Clemson, but this is a fascinating battle to me for a couple of reasons. There is no other sport, in my opinion, major professional sport, that could come on and supplant the current sport. And I think there's a couple of reasons here that this is the case. NFL, NBA, hockey, Major League Baseball, right? Like you take the big leagues. Well, they are comprised of teams, which are franchises, and franchises have owners, and the amount that you have to put in to each one is so great that it's impossible for anybody to create a competing brand. I don't know if currently at this very moment Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world. I don't know if he is or he isn't. It doesn't matter to me. Jeff Bezos couldn't take Bezos money and create a league better than the NFL, or a league better than the NBA, or a league better than Major League Baseball. But you know what Bezos could do? I bet he could create a tennis circuit that's better than what's, the USTA and all the tennis associations in the world, the WTA or whatever. Like, I bet you could do that because it's individuals deciding, where do I want to play? Where can my worth be more? Not a team, individual. See, Tom Brady's got a lot of worth, and if there's another league and Tom Brady thought he could get more, sure, he could go play in it. But who would have the finances or the money to be able to do it for an entire roster? Nobody. And so what Live Golf essentially said to PGA Tour is, you're boring, and we want something that's better. And what it said to the players is, we'll pay you more. And so it was an easy growth model. All you have to have is the money to back it. And now the PGA Tour is backpedaling. And the biggest problem that the PGA Tour has is, one, Tiger Woods, who got together with Rory to kind of try to stand up and save the PGA Tour. Tiger Woods is aging. His back is failing. He's on his last legs when it comes down to golf and being at the top of the sport. And Rory is a consistent underachiever who cracks under pressure. And I think it's great that the PGA Tour did exactly what I said, is that they would adjust. But it is very hard in a sport that is played man v man, 1v1, whatever you want to call it, to not watch two different entities and know that the best are in Live and the scraps are in the PGA Tour now. And that's their biggest problem. You see, a guy like, what's the Con's name? The Con guy's name, the Jags owner, Shahid Khan. You can come up with bukus of dough and create a wrestling alliance that can go out and start to pay guys from WWE or pay guys that are great at independent wrestling situations and bring them over and immediately, if you've got the funding, compete with the WWE. You offer these guys some benefits. You offer these guys some retirement. You can entice the greatness to come to where you are. And look, I understand about the Saudi government and the backing and the money of the Live Golf Tour. When I talk about Live, I do it interdependent of some of the underlying yuckiness that may exist behind that faction, that alliance, that league. But they struck a vulnerable league. They struck it hard. And they didn't miss. And the PGA Tours, the PGA Tour and the PGA Tour representatives, leadership, the guys that are staying, the only thing, and this is true, the only thing that gives them any punch at this point is the Masters, the PGA, the US Open, and the British Open. And you know what? As soon as Liv throws a tournament on that same weekend that rivals those with the better players, those tournament venues will have to start to cave to Live golfers and the Live Golf Tour because they need the eyeballs. 803-450-0086, Hour 2, Clemson Tom joins us. Stay with us. What do you think? Am I right or wrong on Live? Money and individuals. You can battle. You can't do it otherwise. All right, we're going to drop off here. We'll come back with Hour 2 and Clemson Tom next. Linda. Thanks, Linda. I'll see you in just a few minutes.